so much. Take a seat, please. This is the greatest speech I've ever heard. And I think all the people here are the great fans, including me. And I see a real terminator of fears, of negative and passive. And I really admire it. And I think a governor is the great combination of wisdom, courage, and muscles. I have a million of the questions. As a fan, I saw all the movies you made, but I always believe custom number one. So I've got 5 million questions from all the people on the internet. But before that, I still want to change my. Is it possible everybody can make the muscles? Because I've been trying for 20 years, I could not make any muscles. So is there any secret ways or anything that can help? Just this is my only small, tiny question.
Well, 25 years ago, I wrote a book called The Modern Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. And that book has every single exercise in there. So maybe through Alibaba, you should sell it on your website.
That's great. Well, we'll put on the coverage, yeah.
But the bottom line is, when it comes to training, as you know, I still training. I still train every day. And I think that everyone can get more muscular. Everyone can get fitter. Everyone can get better physically. It's just a matter of work and how much work you want to put in. I think that if you want to put in a half an hour a day of cardiovascular training your heart muscle and your cardiovascular system, and training with weights to build your muscles, I think that's enough in order to get in better shape. Of course, when I trained for the World Championships, I trained throughout the year for many, many years, 5 hours a day, and lifted 50 tons of weights a day. But that's what was necessary to be a champion. But that's not what you want. You just want to build your muscle a little bit to fill up that loose shirt a little bit. So I totally understand.
Thank you, Governor. So I got 3 questions, pick up the 3 questions given by the internet, from the internet. The first, as you know, our audience is made up of many small business people who have also have a dream. From your perspective, what are the keys to success that they should focus on?
Well, as I said earlier in my speech, I think one of the most important things is to have vision and to go and have courage, because there's too many people around always that say it can't be done, or it won't happen, or you can't make it. And I've heard that literally my entire life, because I always had crazy ideas. What was crazy, not for me, but for other people. So of course, when you're like in Austria, like I said, and you say you want to be a world champion in bodybuilding, and I want to get into weightlifting, my parents didn't believe in it. My friends around me thought that it was impossible. I should become a soccer champion and so on, or a ski champion. Those are Austrian sports. But they didn't believe it. But I didn't listen to them saying, no, it can happen. I had a very clear vision where I wanted to go, and it was just a matter of putting the work behind it and laying out of what is the plan to get me there, and not to listen to the naysayers, to be courageous, and never be afraid to fail, which is another thing I mentioned in my speech. There's so many people that are afraid to fail, and even now in the work that I'm doing in government, many times, when they say we are going to go and create certain reforms, political reforms or budget reforms, people will say to me in the legislature, the politicians, look, no one has ever been able to do that. I don't think you will be able to do it. But it doesn't matter if no one has ever done it. I mean, that's why records get broken. You should never go and take no for an answer, and you should never really be afraid to fail. I have failed several times in a political world. I've failed many times in my movie world. I've failed in bodybuilding. I've lost competitions. But that should never make you shy away from striving towards the top. I mean, you will always know when you fail, then you just get up and do it again. And you fail maybe again, and then you get up and do it again. Just you got to be persistent, and it's always those that can fight through the pain and through the agony. Those are the people that end up then successful.
Thank you. Well, we believe instead of studying a person's success and trying just to copy it, it's better to learn from the mistakes he made. So, can you talk about some of the mistakes you felt you made in building your career and how you reacted to it? So a lot of people worry about the mistakes and things.
Well, I remember in bodybuilding competition, for instance, there was a time where I was so impatient, where I wanted to gain more weight than you really could in specific muscles. So I gained not only muscles but also fat, and I lost the competition because of that. So I recognized that right away, and then the following year I trained very hard. I trained harder than ever before. I went on a much more strict diet, learned from this mistake, and then I won and never lost again. So this is, I think we learn, if you're very smart, you learn from the mistakes. That's why I always say there's nothing wrong with failing as long as you learn something from that. I've seen, for instance, in politics, I've sometimes tried to make certain changes, but I was not inclusive enough. I was not skilled enough in the beginning to bring Democrats and Republicans together. And I failed. And I learned from those failures, got advice from experienced people, and then moved forward and was much more successful after that. So I think that those things happen because you cannot start always being perfect and knowing it all. I think that life is a continuous learning process, and I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning on this job as governor of the state, and it's a wonderful experience that the whole state of California, the whole country, the whole world becomes one great classroom where you learn all the time and improve your skills and improve your policies and everything like that. So there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to learn from that.
Thank you, Governor. Well, Governor is the unique example that the transfer from an actor to a great politician and political leaders. So I think as an actor, you make decisions for yourselves, but as a political leader, you make tough decisions for the public. So being chief executive means you sometimes have to make tough decisions. Can you give us, the audience, some of the perspective about the toughest decisions that you have ever made in the past 8 years as the government officer?
Well, I think there's many decisions that you make that are very tough. I mean, there's decisions like, for instance, when with capital punishment, we in California, the people have voted on that we have capital punishment so that certain people that create, or commit heinous crimes be put to death. So when you have, all of a sudden when you get a phone call like that at midnight, do you want to pardon this person or do you want to get them off the hook or something like that? It's a tough decisions that you have to make. You have to, also it's tough when you, for instance, have a financial crisis and you do not have the amount of money that people want you to spend on various different programs. In California, we have in our constitution that you have to balance the books. You have to balance the budget. We in California do not print extra money. We don't have our own printing machine for money. Washington can do that, but not California. So you have to basically live within your means, and you have to call people that are, for instance, leaders in foster care, and have to tell them that, look, we don't have the amount of money that we had last year. We have to make some cuts in those programs. You have to call the education leaders and you have to say, look, we have a limited amount. We have to maybe cut $3-4 billion from education. There's a very tough decisions to make because I love children, I love education, but still that's all the money that you have. Law enforcement calls and says we need to put more cops out on the streets because we have an increase in crime and an increase in gang violence. And you have to tell them we don't have enough money. We have to reduce by 10% the funding for your programs. If it's with prisons and so on. So there's a lot of tough decisions that are being made every day. But, that's the job that I wanted. I had a real need to go and give something back to my state that has given me everything. California is without any doubt the greatest place in the world. I love California. I moved to California. Many people from around the world want to move to California. It's really the land of opportunity. And so for me to work now for 7 years for free for the state and to take on those challenges and make those tough decisions is a great honor for me. I'm honored to be able to do that and represent the people of California.
Thank you, Governor. I think I think your answer gives me the courage because we too face big challenges because Taobao has over 300 million users and every decision that we are making is very tough, very difficult. But as you say, and I agree, it's a great honor for us to do this job. It's the job we choose, it's a job I love and I passion. Thank you.
And you're doing a great job with that. And I should just tell everyone here that I'm very excited about the fact that Alibaba is also expanding in California. And that's very important for me as governor to hear that you're creating jobs. You've already created 20,000 jobs in California. I know your goal is to bring, to expand and buy more companies in California and in the United States, and that you will create in the future another 100,000 jobs. And I hope that all of those 100,000 jobs don't go all over the United States, but come to California, okay? So that's the promise that I need from you.
Thank you. We will keep on investing in California because I think California gives us a lot of inspirations. The Silicon Valley, and I think I personally learned my English in the Hangzhou West Lake. When I was a kid, I was walking around and showing a lot of foreign American visitors. I learned my English from them. I learned a lot of ideas from them. And I also get great ideas for internet from this California. And it is a great honor to do something, and we can, to help the California small, medium size. I think yesterday the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to China, Mr. Huntsman said, let's make all the small, medium-sized companies in the world to be united.
That's absolutely correct. I think it is great, and I think that you, as I said to you, that your concept is so terrific to bring companies together. As I said earlier, with the pencil, of how long it used to take to create the pencil, and how fast it goes today when someone has an idea to connect with with various different companies because of your company, because of Alibaba. So you have been a great visionary, and you have been a great leader. And I think you're a great job creator. When you think about that, you've created thousands and thousands of jobs, and millions, as a matter of fact, millions, as I've said. So that's really fantastic. You're doing not only great work for the company, but also great work for the country of China and also for the world. So congratulations, yes.
Thank you, Governor. We'll keep on doing that. As you say, it's our honor. It's our honor. Well, I have a small, tiny question, and then we open 2 questions from the audience. The question on the internet is, do you shop online for Maria and your children?
Yes, as a matter of fact, my children are actually much quicker on shopping online. Every night when I come home, they give me a whole list of new printouts from online. Look at these tennis shoes that I just saw that we can buy here. And look at these nice clothes. And Daddy, Mommy's birthday is on November 6th, remember? So here's a lineup of different purses that I saw online and that we can get and so on. So they're very good with that. And so, yes, we shop online and also going to shops. I enjoy still also the traditional way of going out to shops and go shopping. I enjoy that with the whole family, or sometimes with my daughters when we buy girl stuff, or sometimes with my sons when we buy boy stuff. So it's fun to do that. I enjoy that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have got 2 questions from the audience. Anybody would like to have the first questions? 有没有大家问问题? Yeah. Okay, the girl.
Hello, I'm Angela from Ningbo. So Jack Ma, nice to meet you. Thank you for the chance and for every year we can see you in Hangzhou. And also the governor, I'm your fans, the very big fans. So I think that today and for all the people, and the most people that coming here is for you.
For you?
That's right. Okay. And I go to California for some time because my sister is living in Los Angeles. It's a nice, beautiful place. And also I know you are a very big, famous actor in the world. But I don't know why you will give up to become actor and enter to the government to make the service for the California people. I think maybe you will fight in your mind, right? So can you give us a reason and tell us and why you do like that? And also at last, and can I invite you to have a time, if you have time, maybe go to Ningbo. So I think maybe you know Ningbo also is a very nice and a very business city.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think that I've answered that question somewhat already earlier. A lot of people have asked me that question. Why would I give up making all the money that I made, the millions of dollars in the movie business, and why would I subject myself to continuous, attacks when you are in a public life like that, and when you work as a politician, you always, every decision you make, 50% is against you and 50% is for you, unlike in the movie business. But the bottom line is, I felt like I have thought enough about myself throughout my whole life, and it was time to go and to think about we rather than me. And there is a change, that happens in your mind when you grow up, where you say, okay, what can I do for other people? And that's why I was so much involved as a national coach for Special Olympics and as an international coach in going around the world promoting Special Olympics. But my urge actually increased, that I wanted to give something back to my community and to my state. And so I just felt that when that recall election happened in 2003, that I should jump into the race. I felt that I could do a better job representing the people of California than what was done by politicians. And so I was kind of an outsider, and I won. And every single day when I go to work and to think about, the kind of work that I can do for the people of California, it makes me feel good, because like I said, so many people have done things for me to be successful. When you're successful, if it's in the movie business or bodybuilding or in business, it's not because just you're doing. There's many, many people that are helping you. And the California people and the American people have been extraordinary. And so this is why I had this urge of giving something back for a few years. And then maybe when I'm finished, by end of this year, I'm finished, I maybe go back to the movie business. I maybe do something entirely different. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do next, but I can tell you it's going to be another fun chapter in my life. And
Maybe come to help Alibaba.
Exactly, that's right. But I've never regretted a minute of doing this job. It's wonderful to do something where you don't make any money and just think about, like I said, about the people rather than thinking about yourself.
Fantastic. Yeah. Great.
Mr. Governor, we know that under your leadership, California was or has been a leading state in the green economy and the green technology in the states. So California has been the leading in the IT and also biotech. From today's situation, what do you think about the competitive advantage for your states? And also, what do you think in this role you can take the advantage to push the world towards what you dreamed? Thank you.
First of all, let me say that I promised the people of California when I ran for governor in 2003 that I will make sure that we don't have to choose between one or the other, between the economy and between the environment. I was always a big believer that you can promote both the economy and the environment. And this is why when I came into office, we started creating the Million Solar Roof program to build more solar roofs in California. We started the hydrogen highway so that vehicles that are powered by hydrogen fuel can have fueling stations all over the state of California. We created the low carbon fuel standard to lower the intensity of the fuel and less output of greenhouse gases. We passed, for instance, AB 32, which is to reduce the greenhouse gases in California by 25% by the year 2020. We set renewable standards where our total energy, 33% of that has to come from renewable sources, from wind, from solar, geothermal, biomass, and so on and so forth. So there's all kinds of great environmental progress that has been made over the years in California. And because of that, California has truly become the leader in the United States and also in the world. And this is why we feel actually very close to China, because China is very aggressively moving forward with green technology. You've seen that the productions of green technology, of green goods is going up in China. The amount of billions and billions of dollars that are being put by the government into research and development for electric cars, for renewable energy and so on is going up and up. So it is really fantastic. And we have formed great partnerships between California solar companies and Chinese solar companies to work together and produce the solar panels for the whole world. And as a matter of fact, there's California companies right now building some of the biggest solar plants in China. The Chinese delegation comes over to California for the governor's global climate conference, and we work together on climate issues. So China and California have become really good partners when it comes to environmental issues. And I'm very proud of what the Chinese are doing and what their goal is, even though it's very, very challenging for China because of the tremendous growth that is happening here, economic growth or GDP growth of 9 to 10% a year. To keep up with your infrastructure is a huge challenge, but to also keep up with your energy production is a huge challenge. So there's huge challenges that China has in the future because of that, but there's what they call growing pains. So it's good to have growing pains. Every company has, when they grow fast, they have growing pains. Countries have growing pains. But I think that China is really making an effort to become much more green, to be reducing pollution. So is California, and now we are pushing the whole United States to do the same thing, because the whole United States is not quite there yet. President Obama is there, but Congress isn't there yet. So this is why we have to push Congress now and the other states to be equally as energy efficient and also to be as environmentally conscious as California is or as China is.
Thank you. Well, since I saw the eager eyes from the audience, and I know it's precious for us to for you to come here. So we would probably still got some minutes. We got one more question. Yes, please. Here, there's the.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ma and Governor Schwarzenegger. Just had a simple question to you, Governor. How do you feel about the rule that you have to be born in the US to be the US president?
I hate it.
Thank you.
But at the same time, I have to just say that every single thing that happened to me in my life, every success that I've had in my life is because of America. Everything. I could have gone anywhere else in the world that would not even have had 10% of the success that I had in America. So therefore, because of one single thing that I can't do, I'm not going to complain. Like I said, I hate the law. I don't like it. But I would never complain about it, because I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't have the success that I've had in my life if it wouldn't be for America. So I always say every day, thank God for America, that America gave me that opportunity and this many chances, and gave me my beautiful family, my beautiful children, my wife, and everything like this. So I'm the happiest camper. I will not switch with anyone in the world. That I can guarantee you. So thank you for the question.
Thank you, Governor, for your time.
And now, Jack, before we go, I know that you had a birthday yesterday.
Yes.
And you celebrated your 24th birthday, right?
28.
Okay. So I have a little gift for you here.
Oh.
First of all, I want you to put on this.
Okay.
Open it up. Open it up to the slipper. And now we have another little gift here. You have to excuse me. My friend here is a little slow today. He's a little inexperienced with getting things ready. Now, put this on. Now this is the Terminator right here, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Ma. Good to see you. Thank you very much for having me here. You're looking cool. So when we do Terminator 5, you're going to be in it, okay? All right, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. And I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.